Vicerrectoría les da la bienvenida a este nuevo encuentro que tenemos hoy de Rutas de Formación. En esta oportunidad vamos a estar enfocados en lo que tiene que ver el desarrollo de las competencias en lengua extranjera, en este caso en inglés, y para esta oportunidad nos acompaña o va a estar dirigido por la directora del Instituto de Idiomas, la profesora LIZETH Ramos, que nos acompaña hoy. Como les digo, reciban una bienvenida de parte de la Vicerrectoría y esperamos que esto siga fortaleciendo los procesos en los cuales estamos desde la institución.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This workshop is going to have two parts. The first part is going to be delivered by me. My name is LIZETH Ramos. I'm the director of the Language Institute, and the second part is going to be done by Paola Arce, who is a teacher at the Language Institute. So we hope that with this workshop, you get as many tools as you can get in order to improve not only the English level of our students, but also how to apply some strategies in all the different disciplines and areas at the university, so we get our goal, our aim, which is that our students really need to have better results in the Saber Pro exams, okay? Especially in English. So in order to achieve that goal, we have planned a variety of activities to show you in a very practical way how to work with the students in order to get our institutional goal, okay? So first of all, since we have a good number of people who have attended this presentation, I would like to ask the person who is next to you, or 3 people maximum, what is reading? What is your definition of reading? Why is reading important? Okay? So the idea is that you discuss in pairs, maximum groups of 3, and I'm going to give you only 1 minute to just get some ideas, okay? If you cannot speak in English, no problem. You can do it in Spanish. But the idea is that you participate, okay? So let's begin. What is reading and why is reading important, okay? Let's begin, 1 minute.
Reading is one of the 4 skills that every student needs to have as reading. And reading is really important in the Saber Pro exam because students have to show the ability in reading comprehension.
Thank you very much. Another idea? No. Another idea about reading? Here we have some ideas about reading.
Bueno, aquí dentro de las personas que estamos conversando, consideramos que la lectura es básicamente la interpretación de símbolos, que la lectura puede ser en muchos aspectos. Y la lectura sirve como una herramienta para transmitir ideas o conocimientos.
Thank you very much. One more, and this is the last one. Don't be shy. You're all professors. No? Mr. Duque? No? Okay. I'm going to share with you a definition I found. This is not my definition. What is reading? So here we have that reading is an active process, okay? It's a process of understanding, print and graphic texts, what you said. Thank you very much. Reading is a thinking process, okay? That means there is a cognitive process involved. Reading skills or reading abilities and strategies can be taught, okay? This is something that the students can learn, okay? This is not something that you can get like a medicine, no, okay? This is something that you learn. And it's taught explicitly while students are learning subject-specific content through authentic reading tasks. And this is very important, and that's why you're all here. Because reading and reading comprehension is not only from, or is not a task only from the English teachers. No. This is something that we all have to be involved, okay? In all the areas, in all subject matters. Effective readers use strategies to understand what they read before, during, and after reading. And this is very important because when you read, it's not something that is mechanical, okay? There is something that you do before you read the text. There are some other things that you do while you read the text, and there are some other things that you do after reading a text. So the idea today is to give you some examples and practical ideas on how to do that in your classes, okay? There are some strategies that you can use with the students before reading, okay? So before reading. You can use and activate prior knowledge, okay? It's something that you can get from the students. For example, when you ask a question before reading the text, or sometimes we have a picture or a graph or a table in mathematics, for example. So you can activate some ideas before students read the text. They can make predictions, okay, about the text with those things, with the title, with a question, with a picture, with a graph. Preview the text by skimming and scanning to get a sense of the overall meaning. Skimming and scanning are strategies that we use in order to get a general idea for skimming, a general idea of the text, and scan when you want to identify specific information from the text, okay? I'm going to go very quickly so we can do all the things that we have planned. During the reading, the idea is to monitor understanding by questioning. It's like, is this what the text is trying, or the author is trying to say? Thinking about what the text presents, and also reflecting on the ideas and information in the text. This is during, is the moment in which you are in front of the text, okay? And after reading, you can reflect about or upon the ideas presented in the text, relate or tell someone what you have read in the text, and you can also relate the text with the experiences that you have had in your own life. Clarify understanding, and obviously you extend some understanding after you have read the text, okay? So we're going to start with an example. It's a little bit complicated because of the room, but we're going to try to do something. We're going to have some people here. I need 2 lines here, please. I need 2 lines here, and at least another 2 lines here. Please, stand up. Come up front. 2 lines. People should be facing one the other, okay? Thank you very much. Come. Come. Don't be shy, come. Everybody, come. Wait. Move, please. Over here. Everybody, stand up. Come. Here. Here. We need 2 lines here, 2 lines here, 2 lines here. Please. Move. More people here. This is easier if we do it faster. Okay, I'm gonna have only 2 lines here to make it easier. If you don't want to do it, no problem. Heriberto, Carol, and Constanza here. Okay, can you see the questions? Can you see the questions? Can you see the questions? Yes? Okay, this is the example. I'm going to do it with Constanza. This is the example. Constanza, what's your favorite hobby?
Play clarinet.
Wow, play the clarinet. Is your hobby difficult?
No, not so much.
No, it's not. Is it expensive?
A little bit.
A little. Is it popular?
Not so much.
It's not very popular. So, you ask your partner, okay? And when I say move, the person in this line moves. So, you move, and I start with Gladys, okay? 1, 2, 3, begin.
Hello.
My favorite, my favorite hobby is cycling.
Favorite hobby?
More or less. No, it's cheap.
Theater, movies in theater.
Is your hobby difficult?
Not difficult, it's very good.
Is it expensive?
Not expensive, it's cheaper. It's popular, depend on the movie, on the theater.
This is for CNN. What's your name?
My name is
What's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby is reading history books. ¿Y por qué? It's not.
Is it expensive?
It's not expensive at all.
Is it popular?
It's popular too much. Thank you very much. Sit down. Thank you, thank you. Sit down. Sit down, sit down. Thank you. This is something you do before the students read, okay? We have some questions and we talk before we read, okay? The rest of you, the ones who didn't want to participate, okay, it's okay. But what we want to show you is that reading is not boring, okay? Reading doesn't have to be boring. Reading can have some fun things to do, okay? So before you read, you activate prior knowledge with some questions, and that's what we did. Now, here is the reading. I selected a reading that is a general reading. This is A1, this is basic, and it's about video games. It's about a topic that most of us know, okay? So, what's the idea with this reading? Individually, you're going to read the text, and then we're going to ask some questions. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to read the text in complete silence, please. Which entertainment industry is the text about? The movie industry or the electronic industry? Okay, the electronic games industry. What is the usual time limit for a game? What is the usual time limit for a game? Think of the question. What's the correct answer? 2 minutes. 16 hours, 34 minutes was a record, okay? Now, what's the cost of a game? $0.25. Who has the record for defender? An adolescent, a teenager, or an adult? A teenager. And who is worried about the games? Is it adults or is it young people? Adults. Okay. I selected this reading because this is A1, okay? This is basic. If you as a teacher, you don't have a good level of English, then you need to start the process of learning the language so you can implement some reading strategies in your classes, okay? So this was just an example on something basic, but we're going to go further, okay? We're going to show you some examples of the Saber Pro exam and how to deal with that. So Paola is going to continue with the next part, and we're going to give you some activities.
Okay, good afternoon. How are you today? Good? How are you today? You're fine? Yes? Hot? Or is fine? Is good? Okay, right. So my colleagues are distributing some pieces of paper. You know the pieces of paper? Okay, so make sure that everyone has a piece of paper, okay? Right, so that's the first step. All right, so number one is you have a piece of paper individually, not in groups so far, individually, one person, just one person. You are going to take a look, observe the small text. Yes, the one that is in the piece of paper. Only one. Why? Okay, you have this paper. Everyone? All of you? You don't have more? You finished? Okay, so you can have 2 people with 1 paper. I didn't expect to have that much crowd today. Yes, Okay, so you have the pieces of paper, right? Okay, take a quick read, yes? Don't read word by word, no. Just look at it and read it fast. Read it fast, yes? Have a general idea, yes? Attention, attention, stop. I know it's hot, I know today's Thursday, we're tired, but attention. What are we going to read? This. You have the paper, yes or no? Okay, who has the paper? Hands up, hands up. Okay, not a lot of people have the paper. Okay, doesn't matter. So in groups of 3, you can read this paper in the groups of 3, okay? Have an idea of what it says in groups of 3. So if you don't have the paper, look for a friend. Do you have the paper? Okay, I work with you. Yes, look for a friend. This paper. No, it doesn't matter. Look for one person. Attention, guys, listen. I'm going to say it a Spanish moment. Un momento de español para que me entiendan, ¿sí? Un paréntesis. Yo sé que no todos tienen el papel porque esperábamos menos personas. No hay problema. Alguno en este salón debe tener un papel. Vayan donde esa persona y miren lo que dice el papel. Cada uno debe tener la información de un solo papelito. ¿Listo? Entonces, si en mi fila no hay nadie, pero por acá sí hay, pues vayan y se unen con esa persona. Es una información muy chiquitica. ¿Ok? No more Spanish. Do your job. Read it. You can work together and read it. Okay, you can take photos if you want technology. Yes? Right? Okay, general information. Okay, do you have the information? Yes? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, I'm going to select my victim. Let me see, a victim. Okay, tell me what is the text about? What is the text about? One volunteer? No volunteers? Only one person? Yes? Okay, tell me, what do you have?
Everything was built to the last.
Okay, but we are talking about what exactly?
What? The past and the present.
Yes, the past and the present. So in the past, we are talking about the 80s, we have something happening, and now we have what's happening today. He has about things that in the past, the things were for the life. You remember? In the 80s? Yes or no? In the 80s, if we buy a television for the life, yes? It's not like every 6 months, oh, a new TV, no. One television for the house and for the life, yes? If we have one bed in the past, in the 80s, the bed was for me, for my son, for my grandchildren, for everyone, one bed. Yes or no? Okay, so things in the past were for life. In the present, things for life? Yes or no? We have a car and we have the car forever, 100 years and the same car? Yes or no? At all. It's totally different, the panoramic. Okay, so we have one. Do you have something different? We have things? Yes. I listen to yes. Okay. Tell me what you have, just in general.
This is about the way that in this moment, right now, we are sending our messages. Not just by mail, by email and another technology platforms.
Okay, so in the moment, we use something that is called the email. Fantastic. In the 80s? Do you live in the 80s? What happened in the 80s? Computers? Emails? What was in the 80s?
In letters or clave Morse.
Morse, yes, the Morse code. Morse code, letters, anything but technology. Okay, we have two information. So in the past, communication by written letters, at the moment is emails, yes? And the things that were for life in the past. What else? Something different, something different. No one? Really? Why are you so shy? Tell me.
Listen to music.
Listen to music in the 80s. How was the music in the 80s?
Apps, in internet.
Okay, the technology, someone told me Walkman. Yes, the Walkman. You remember the Walkman? Okay, what was the thing that you put in the Walkman to listen to music? What was? A cassette. The last technology in the 80s was cassettes. Yes or no? At the moment, cassettes? Come on, cassettes? No way. What is today? What is today? How is music? We use internet, so we use apps, applications. Tell me examples of applications nowadays. We use Google Music. That is very, very actual. What else? Sorry? Deezer, okay. So we have YouTube, sorry, YouTube, yes. Spotify, you know Spotify? Spotify, okay, so we have three elements. Tell me one more and I'll leave you alone. One more, another one that you see in the papers. Tell me. Life nowadays and life in the 80s. What do you have? Say it.
Thank you, photos.
Taking photos. Okay, taking photos in the 80s. How was taking photos in the 80s? Tell me. Black and white. No, in the 80s? No. I'm not that old. No, yes, black and white, but like at the beginning of the century. But no, not black and white. But almost. Okay, tell me. What? The 70s? Well, in the 80s. In the 80s, taking photos? Excellent.
Paper?
In paper. In the 80s, you have photos and you say, this is my mother, this is my son, these are my children. Photos. Nowadays, what do you use? Yeah, a camera, a cell phone. But do you show the photos in paper? Sometimes. It depends. It depends. But normally, you take the cell phone and you say, this is my mother, this is my dog, this is mine, and this is Facebook. Yes? Yes or no? How were the cameras in the 80s? You remember the cameras? Small? Light? They were super big, heavy. How much was to take a photograph? You take the photo in the 80s, and you take the camera to the photo place. How much was that? Cheap? Economic? No way, it was super expensive. Today, if I want to print a photo, is it cheap or expensive? Super cheap. Okay, so now with this information that I gave you, we are going to complete an activity. This activity is super simple. You have one text, and this text doesn't have the whole information, only part of the information. I'm sorry, I am a teacher, and I know that today is hot, you are tired, you have a headache, it's horrible, but please, stand up, please, and look for the person who has the information to complete your paper. Yes, you don't have the information, another person has the information. So you're going to say, sorry, in the 80s, how was the technology for cameras in the 80s? And she is going to give me the information, I complete. Thank you very much. I go to another person, hello. Don't worry, you don't have to talk to me in English. Imagination. So I say, hello. Okay, fine, thank you. So tell me, how was communication in the 80s? Okay, written letters. So I copy written letters. I said, thank you very much, bye-bye, and I continue. Yes or no? You help me? Yes? Yes? Okay. Do you have the papers? No, yeah, okay, it's coming, it's coming. It's coming. If you don't speak English, you can have a translator next to you, a friend. Yes, the friend. Okay, Spanish paréntesis. El que no habla inglés no se preocupe que el vecino sí habla. Le dice, ay, vení, ¿por qué no me ayudas a traducir? Yes? Easy, easy, easy thing. That has the information. Papers are coming one day. You have a question? Tell me. Okay, so now you have the papers. Thank you, Paolo, for the distribution of the papers. Okay, attention. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're going to go observe the papers. You need to complete the information, but you don't have the information. Simultaneous translation. Ustedes tienen el papel, pero no tienen toda la información. Tienen que buscar a un compañero que sí la tenga. Por eso les pido que se paren y les voy a dar ¿cuánto? ¿5 minutos? ¿5 minutes? No? 10? Okay, 10 minutes to complete it. Yes? Action. You can also ask Paulito, you can ask Lizeth. Yes, I can help you completing that. You can ask me as well. Yes, finish? Okay, I see some information. Okay. Yes. Okay, almost. Very good, excellent. Okay, if you have questions, you can ask me as well. Number 1, ask me. Okay, yes, thank you very much. If you haven't finished, no problem. You have all the time to do it later. Okay, please sit down, sit down. Thank you. Yeah, I have some people that they finished. Thank you very much. Sit down. Thank you, teacher. All right, thank you. I see a lot of motivation. Very good. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, finish. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, can you sit down? Thank you. Okay, we finished. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, thank you. Finish the conversation. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we're going to start. If I see you having a chat, I'm going to ask you. Si los veo hablando, les pregunto. Yeah, I have to say in Spanish. Okay, so we're going to go with number 1. Who has number 1? Volunteers for number 1? Volunteers, or I select the victim? Victim or volunteers? Volunteers? No one. Okay, tell me. Number 1, how were the cameras in the 80s?
To take photos, cameras were bulky.
Okay, so to take photos, cameras were bulky. You know what bulky is? Bulky? Bulky? Heavy. In Spanish, aparatoso. Yes, pesado. All right, number 2. Number 2? Okay. This way.
To keep contacts, people had to write people's names.
Exactly. So if I want to have a friend, and I need the telephone of my friend, or if I need the address of my friend, I needed to go and ask, hi, hello, what is your name? Copy. What is your address? Copy. What is your job? Copy. Hi, thank you, bye-bye. And at the end, you have papers. Yes or no? Okay, good. Number 3. You have number 3? Number 3? 3? Yes? Number 3.
3 or 2? 3. Ay. People made phone calling, phone booth. Information given by Lucas.
Okay. So Lucas gave the information that in the past we used phone booths. You know what phone booths were? Phone booths? Phone booths? No? You remember Superman? Yes or no? Superman. And you remember that Superman used to, danger, and he looked for a phone, entered to a phone, and transformation. So what is a phone booth in Spanish? Una cabina telefónica de transformarse Superman. Yes, something like that. Okay, let's continue. Number 4. Who has number 4? Number 4? 4? 4?
Abacus.
Exactly. In the past, we didn't have the cell phone. No, we need to use the brain. We need to use the abacus. We need to really do mathematics. Okay, so that is number 4. Number 5. 555. 5.
Ads in newspaper. Getting a date well. Ads in newspaper.
Exactly. To get a date in the past, well, it was in the newspaper was one strategy, but was difficult, very difficult. Nowadays, a date, you can use Tinder, you can use the chatting, you can use the, I could know that is number 4. Okay, number 6. 666. Number 6. Number 6.
To play games, you had to go a local arcade.
To a local arcade. You know what an arcade is? Arcade? Yes, arcade. You remember Mario Bros? Yes? If you didn't have Mario Bros in your house, what did you do in the past? No Mario Bros in your house, what did you do? You went to la tienda and you put some coins and you play in la tienda, yes or no? So that thing in la tienda is called arcade. What is arcade in Spanish? Arcade? La maquinita de monedita, that is the arcade. Okay, let's continue. Number 7. 7.
To listen to music, people make mistakes.
Mixtapes. You know mixtapes? You remember? Okay. At the present, you put the songs in a machine, in your cell phone. But in the past, you used an LP, yes? But this is expensive. So in your house, you put the cassette, you listen to, in that time, La Mega, what else? Well, you listen to the radio, and you put Radio Echo, yes, to Radio Echo, and then you have the Cantina song, and you say, "Hi, this is my favorite song," boom, and you recorded the song. At the moment you do that, calidad, no, at the moment calidad, no way. Okay, so let's continue, number 8. 8. 8? Volunteer or victims? Okay, volunteer, good. Number 8.
Things were built to last for many years.
Excellent. What we said at the beginning. In the past, the things were for life. Yes, for life. Okay, what else? Number 9. Who has number 9? Number 9? My victim.
People used to cut articles out of the newspaper.
In the past, if you wanted to read something, you cut the newspaper. If you have your favorite actor, you cut the favorite actor, put on the wall. Yes or no? At the moment, do you do that? You print it. You just computer printing that. There you have, copy paste. Yes, or you can do it from the web, from the internet, right? But in the past, no, the newspaper. It's here, and you cut it. Okay, so these are the differences between the 80s and the life today. Yes? Okay, so what we did in this activity, we use different strategies. I'm going to show you the presentation of the strategies, and you are going to help me to see what kind of strategies we used to complete that information. Okay? So, first strategy, we have predicting. This strategy of predicting, like the name, is to use the prediction. Yes, we have a paper and we are like, what this is? We have another paper and it's like, what? And then I was saying like, yes, in the 80s, so we use the prediction. Exactly, we use what?
Previous information.
Exactly. For the prediction, it's very important to have the previous information. So it's something that we use before the activity, but we also do it during the activity. One of the things, we have a question. How were cameras in the 80s? I don't have the document, but I can make a prediction, yes? And what was my prediction about the cameras? I have the information that they were heavy, that they were big, that they were expensive. Yes, so we have an idea about that. So these are the typical questions that we answer when we make predictions. Question number 1, what do you think this text is about? Yes, so when we saw the paper, we said, what is this about? And they say, taking photos. Okay, number 2, can you predict what is happening next? Can you predict? Sometimes yes, sometimes we cannot. Okay, so let's continue with the second. Okay, so the second one is self-questioning. What is self-questioning? So it says, is a process, ongoing process. Ongoing, it is to say that it's repetitive. Yes, repetitive. To ask questions before, during, and after reading, and this helps the reader to understand the document. So if we ask questions, do you remember the type of questions we can make? What questions do we have now after this activity? Tell me one question that you have now. You don't have questions? No questions? One question that you had at the moment. You have questions? No? Questions? Tell me. You can tell me in Spanish and I translate.
Los materiales de los edificios. ¿Cuáles son los materiales de los edificios?
Okay, so which were the materials for the buildings in the 80s, right? Because I said that in the past, things last forever. So we are thinking, the materials, how are the materials? So that is one question that we can say. So, what do you wonder? That is one question. ¿Qué nos preguntamos? What do you wonder? Second, how could that be? ¿Cómo puede ser eso? Yes? All right, let's continue. Creating images. Creating images is making a picture in my head. I read the image and it helps me to understand. In this activity, tell me one image that you created. Tell me one, only one.
The tape.
The tape. The cassette. Yes, you had the image of the cassette. What else? Another image that you had. The abacus. Yes, when you were reading, you imagined the abacus. Okay, so the question is, what do you see? What do you see in your mind when you read the document? Second question, what can you hear? What can you smell? What can you taste when you read a document? So you use your senses, your 5 senses, in order to recreate in your mind what the text has. Yes or no? Now, this is possible to do it. You have different texts in your hand. Yes or no? Okay, so you can take a look at the text and you can see the kind of images that you have when you make a quick read. Yes? We're going to make a quick read of the text. Here we have Einstein, yes, Einstein, Albert Einstein, and we have the reading, yes. Another document that we have. Okay, so we have the, let me see. We have this one, yes. What else do you have around? Only that one? Okay, I have it. Okay, tell me images. What images do you have when you read the document? Yes, images. Remember, it can be a picture, it can be a smell, yes, it can be a memory. Okay, so you have the eclipse, yes, what else? What else? The light, the moon, the moon in the middle of the sun and the earth. Okay, very good. More images? Yes? Chemical substances. Yes, if we are talking about Albert Einstein. Very good. What else? Tell me more images. More images? Sorry? The theory, a theory. So you have the image of a theory. Okay, good. So now we continue. Connecting. What is connecting? Yes, connecting. What is to connect?
One idea with another one.
Okay, it's to relate one idea with another one. So I connect what is happening, for example, in a story. I'm going to show you a story, and then we're going to make the connections. So we connect things that happened in the story with things that happened maybe in my life. Yes, maybe. So the questions that we have to answer are, does this text remind you of something? Maybe yes, maybe not. Then what? What is your memory? Who is the protagonist of your memory? Which moment do you remember? I'm going to show you something. Okay, do you see it now? Hello? Okay, so. Hi, okay. So here. Okay, tell me because this. Okay, now I feel like a singer. I'm going to sing. Okay, so number one is, how are you today? Fine. I want the top of my head shaved. So he wants the top of his head shaved. And the sides dyed. You understand dyed? Yes, change of color. Change of color, like yellow color. But in this case it's pink, dyed in pink, and cut in horizontal stripes. You know stripes? Like lines. Okay. And they say, Ma'am? Yeah, he goes to the mother and says, Ma'am, sorry. Give him the usual beat. So the mother says, no way, the usual, please. And then he says, well, I guess this guy knows which size his bread is buttered on. The bread, you know the bread, yes? In La Paola, you buy bread. So you put butter on the bread, and he knows which size to put the butter. It is to say, he's not going to pay attention to him, he's going to pay attention to her, yes? Now, tell me, if I tell you to connect this information, what kind of connections do you make? Memories, yes, you have memories. Which memories? Maybe for the first time, when you were a child, and you went to the haircut, to the hairdressers, and you say, I want my hair like this, and your mom, no, like that, no. What else? Tell me something else. What other connections do you have? Connections. Sorry? Buying clothes when you were a teenager, yes? When we are teenagers, we want the clothes we want. And then the mothers and the fathers are like, no, not at all. You have to pay attention to it. So establishing connections could be our memories, yes? Could be something that we heard on the television or that we read on the newspaper. It could be news. It could be something totally different. Okay, I'm going to go back. Inferring. What is inferring? Inferring. Okay, inferring is giving a local guest. Yes, when we have a guest adivination, yes? Based on facts or evidence, presented using prior knowledge to help the reader understand the deeper meaning of the text. So inferring is something that helps me to see beyond the text. Beyond, it is to say deeper in the text. So I use this strategy in order to see, for example, I can tell my students to use inferring if I want them to take a sentence from the text and I wanted to take them beyond what it says in the text. Questions. We say, using different clues, what can you infer? For example, you have the document of Einstein, yes or no? Not reading, just looking at it. What do you imagine it is? Just looking at it. It's a scientific test. Why? Because he's a scientist? Okay, what else? Another clue, another clue. It's a biography. Why is it a biography? Because of the picture. Only by the, okay, yes, but you can see a biography maybe with the structure of the text, the macro structure of the text. Yes? Okay, let's continue. Summarizing. Why is summarizing? Summarizing is to make it smaller. The text is big, we make it smaller. We said in 2 words what is said in 150. So summarizing is the ability to reduce a larger piece of text, so focus in the most important details. We need to focus on the things that we said. This is important, so this is what I'm going to say, and the rest is only decoration. What is the question? What is the structure? We need to see the structure of the text and what is the purpose of the text. I'm going to give you an example. I know that the copies are not enough, so I brought something else. So when we present Saber Pro, we have different types of questions in English. We have basically 5 types of documents in the Saber Pro. The document number 1 is very easy. It's vocabulary. This is a way of text. Even when it's a list of vocabulary, it's a text. It's something written. So here we have, okay, for you to wake up, you're going to help me reading. What is this? You see? Okay, repeat. Ball, bike, competition, field, player, prize, stadium, uniform. Yes? I'm sorry, my English is not from the United States. I have a different accent. Yes, my English is more from England, so that's why it sounds different. Okay, so player in American and player in British. Okay, so we have, these are the definitions. Sorry, these are the words, and here we have the definitions. Only with the words, only with the words. What is the topic of the vocabulary activity? What is the topic? Sports, yes, sports. We have a ball, we have competition, we have player, we have stadium, yes? Okay, and here we have something to associate. We're going to do only two because we don't have time. Number 1, all members of the same team wear this. What is that? Uniform, right? Uniform. Okay, number 2, you need this if you want to play tennis. What do you need if you want to play tennis? A ball, yes, and a racket, but racket is not there. All right, so this is document 1. I don't need this, it's just for you to see the panorama. Number 2, part 2 is when the students have this thing. What is this? A conversation, a dialogue, yes? Interactive situation. So she said, what do you do? Okay, so they have to take a look at the conversation and they have to select the best answer. Easy. So what do you do? I have 3 possibilities. I'm a pilot, I'm single, and you? And then I'm George. What is the answer? I'm a pilot, because what do you do? And do is related to occupation. So we had the occupation. Would be single? Would be George? Occupation pilot? Absolutely. So is number 1. So you know, part 2, easy, no problems. I don't need that one. Part 3, this is the one I needed, but I just wanted you to go there. So we have this, part 3. Part 3, in the Saber Pro, you have a text, and you have some hints. You know hints? Hints como claves, como pistas, yes? So you have the title, sometimes you have an image, but then the text is not completed. Do you have the text like that on your documents? Tell me, which one? Do you have one like that? Yes, the solar eclipse, right? The solar eclipse. So here we have the ozone hole. Okay, so in the ozone hole, the first thing you have to do is read the text, yes? And then you're going to see, because when you read it, you have some ideas of the possibilities that we could have. So we have here, the ozone layer is a blanket, the Earth, yes? Here I don't have zero, but the options were around, on, in front, that's it. So we know that it's around. This is my gift, I tell you it's around. So it protects from the sun's ultraviolet. If we said the 11, what do you imagine? Protect, it has to be or a person, yes, it has to be something, but it cannot be a verb. Could be a verb? No, it needs to be a person, the protagonist of that. So we say ours, us, or our. Is us, yes, us. So now we have more information to complete the information. The problem is that there is a hole in the ozone layer over Antarctica. Humans made a hole. Humans are responsible. Some people use some products, have terrible effects on the ozone. In number 12, what word do you think is possible to fit in there? We have while, we have but, and we have because. You said because. And it's logical because is to give reasons. But is to give what? Contrast. Yes? And while is during something, or it could be while as a mark of time in the past. But then it is because we are saying a reason. And then we have 13. Some products have terrible effects on the ozone. We have 3 possibilities: which, who, and where. What is that? Which. Why which? Who is people, exactly. Where is for what? For time, for places, or for reason? For places. So where is not. So what it is? Which. Yes? I'm going to read it complete. So we have the ozone layer is a blanket around the Earth. It protects us from the sun's ultraviolet rays. The problem is that there is a hole in the ozone layer over Antarctica. Humans made a hole because people use some products which have terrible effects on the ozone. Yes or no? We have the text is completed. And now we can do this strategy. Summarizing. What is the text about? Summarizing in short words. Is what? Is the contamination of the ozone? Is what? What happened to the ozone? Is destroyed. Why? Because of the animals? Because of the nature? Because of humans. Okay, so we say there is a problem with the ozone layer and the responsible are humans. Yes? What happened to the ozone layer? It has a what? A hole. Yes, there is a hole in the ozone layer. So that was summarizing. Okay, now we're going to go to comparing. Yes? Comparing. What is comparing about? If we make comparisons, it is, well, we have two possibilities. Or we can compare or we can contrast. What is compare? Comparing is finding the similarities. When we have two things and we say if they are similar or not. Contrasting is in order to say how they are different. Yes? So we have similarities or differences. So now, the text at the beginning of this talk with me, what was the text about? Do you remember? It was life in the 80s versus life nowadays. What is the most probable strategy to use if we are talking about the past and the present? Comparing. Yes or no? So we can use the comparison in this case. We have here life in the 80s, life nowadays. To contrast, what things, well, first, comparing, what things were similar in the past and similar in the present? Tell me one. Similarities. Public transportation. Yes, we have public transportation in the past. We have public transportation in the present. Did we have communication in the past? Communication? Yes, communication. Different, but yes, we have communication. Now, if we make the contrast, we are going to find differences with the past and differences in the present. Yes? Okay, tell your friend next to you, three differences from life in the 80s with life nowadays. Three differences in general. Okay, Spanish moment. De todo lo que hemos hablado hoy, al principio estábamos hablando de la vida en los 80s y la vida hoy en día, ¿cierto? De todo lo que hemos visto, que leímos, que hemos conversado, vamos a escoger tres cosas para contrastar. Life in the 80s with life nowadays. De la vida de los 80s con la vida hoy en día. Yes? In pairs. Go on. You can also use that document. That is also a written image, so it can be a document as well. Okay, three differences. Okay, so here we have something interesting. We're going to listen.
Dance, ¿sí? The static dance, sí, and static. Sí, bailar, y ahorita.
Okay, so in the past, we have agualulos parties. Okay, and today, what do we have? Now it's reggaeton. Reggaeton parties. It's very sad, very sad. Okay, now the haircut. How was in the 80s the haircut? You remember? We had the Alf style. Yes, the Alf style. And today, how is the hair? Okay, he also says that the romantic way were different. How was the romantic way in the past? You have distances, yes? You are my boyfriend, but distance. And today? Reggaeton. Reggaeton style. Okay, tell me one difference. The human relationships. How were they in the past? Formal. Respectful to the other person, yes? Now it's informal. Yes, so we had in the past it was more formal, more respectful, the relationship, and nowadays it's more informal. Yes, what do you have? Tell me. Entertainment television. Why was it different? Now it's very fast, yes? Everything is fast in television. Television was very, very slow. I have an example for that. Do you remember Super Champions? Super Campeones, Oliver? You remember that? No? Well, if you don't, you can Google it later. Super Campeones, yes? Super Champions. One match was a month. One match a month. And today, everything is Marvel. So everything is fast. Yes or no? Okay, and if it lasts 1 month, you say, no, boring. I changed it. Yes, I changed it. Okay, so we have contrast and comparison. How to make synthesis. So if we want to make a long text very short, we have to extract the essence of the text. So we have, basically, synthesizing is also going deeper. We need to reflect. What is the reflection? What did you learn? And what did you understand? In English, this is basic, because sometimes we read the text and we have a general idea, but there are some things that we are like, vocabulary, maybe, the context, maybe, so we don't understand it like very well. So we need to answer 2 questions. What did you learn? And what did you understand? I'm going to show you the final text because we don't have time, and it's going to be, okay, so this is another type of document, but you can see in the Saber Pro. Can you see? Is it big enough? Yes. Okay, so we're going to read the text. We only have 2 questions, but it's necessary to have that strategy that is synthesizing in order to have the deep information and understanding in order to solve it. So we're going to start reading. You're going to listen to me, but then you follow the reading. We have, in 1957, an engineering company started studying the possibility to join Britain and France through a tunnel under the sea. So they wanted to put together Britain and France. It will have 2 trains for passengers, as well as a small service train. Yes, so passengers and service. In 1973, the ideas went into action, and then hard work began. Yes, hard work began. A short time later, they were stopped because there wasn't enough money to complete the project. Note, like in Colombia, right? Like in Colombia. Okay, we continue. In 1984, several companies showed their ideas to restart the project. 2 variations of railway, a road, and a big bridge over the English Channel. The chosen project was the railway solution that was very similar to the one presented back in 1973. Yes, in 1973. Okay, yes or no? Vocabulary questions? No? Okay, so we're going to see. We need to have a general idea. We need to understand the document. So we need to use the synthesis in order to answer these questions. We go with question number 1. They first started to build the Eurotunnel. Eurotunnel, attention, do we have Eurotunnel somewhere? No, they don't say Eurotunnel, but we can imagine that they are talking about this tunnel. Okay, so they started to build the Eurotunnel in 1973? 1957? 1984? What is that? 1973. This is in different words because it says the ideas went into action. What is into action? They were not ideas. They transformed into a reality. Yes? Manos a la obra. Exactly. Let's continue with number 2. You do this. Sometime after starting the construction, the company building Eurotunnel, and you have 3 possibilities. Finish the tunnels, had problems with time, couldn't continue. She said, see, couldn't continue. Why? Exactly. The problem was the money. The problem was not the time, was the money. So the answer is couldn't continue. Yes? We need to use something that is called paraphrasing if we need to understand and we need to extract the information in order to answer these kind of questions. This is parte 4 or part 4 in the Saber Pro. You want to see the last one? ¿Quieres saber la última parte? It's a text that is not completed. You need to complete the text. And you have some clues, some hints. You remember that when we use prediction, we can see the text and we see that. If we use prediction, what is the text about? Elephants. Yes, elephants, Africa. Yes, we have a context. If we connect this document to ideas that we have prior ideas, what do we have? Prior ideas. Information about elephants. What do you know about elephants? Are they small or are they big? Big. They are big. Okay, what else? Are they protected or are they in danger? In danger. Yeah, so we have many ideas that we can connect. Let's start reading. So we have in times, wild elephants walked around pocket islands. I give you this one. This is in ancient times, yes, in the past. In past times, in ancient times, wild elephants walked around pocket islands. So it's not Africa, it's pocket island. But as digging for minerals and rubber plantations, what happened? 26. We have 4 options. Raw, cost, built, changed. So it's easier or difficult? More difficult, no, more difficult. We have 4 options, more difficult. Okay, so we have plantations, 26. So, but as digging for minerals and rubber plantations, cost. Okay, let's see. If we put cost, let's continue reading. Cost, the natural environment is not cost. Another? Change. Okay, so we put change here. Change, the natural environment. Yes, affected, change, transform. Elephant slowly disappeared. We're going to use one strategy. Mind image, creating images. If we think about elephants disappearing, is this happy or sad? It's sad. So if we connect this, we can also go beyond and see what is going to happen. Is this going to tell me something positive or negative in the future? At the moment, we are here. What is coming, something positive or something negative? Most probable, negative. Okay, let's continue. As recently as 3 years, afterwards ago already along, what is that? As recently as 3 years ago, yes? Because we're talking about the past. So in the past, we need to say hace 3 años. In English is 3 years ago. The only elephants to be found, caught, contained, taken. On pockets were at tourist attraction. Yes, this is attraction. I don't have the possibility here. But then, the only elephants to be found, exactly. So the only elephants to be found were at tourist attraction. So if you see an elephant, you're like, wow, it was something touristic, photos and everything, because it was not very common. Okay, so we're going to finish with one of these strategies that we were saying, and it is synthesizing. What is this text about? What is the text about? About? About elephants, yes. And what happened to elephants? They are disappearing, yes. Elephants in danger, yes. Are they in Africa, in this document? Where are they? In Pocket Islands, okay? That's it. So, and we finish with this information about the Sauerbrunn. So, the reflection today is this. If you want our students to pass the exam, that is the Sauerbrunn, we really need to motivate our students to dig. You know dig? Yes? To dig into English documents. We need to propose our students some English reading, because some English reading, we have one advantage with English that could not be an advantage with someone who doesn't speak it, and is that recent publications, currently publications, are they in Spanish? Most of them are in English. Well, it depends. It depends. In medicine, maybe French, yes? But it depends. Most of the time, academic, scientific documents are in English. So we need to select some documents in English to motivate our students to read in English. Why is that? I tell you simply, if we see English as a planet like Jupiter, and we see English as a problem, it is as a planet that is far, far away, and I don't need it for my life. English is not necessary. I can live without English. I don't need it. I have translators, I have Google, yes? So if we have the planet Jupiter, that is English for our students, students will say like, I'm not interested. In the future, they will say, I need to learn. I need to read in English because I need recent information about my major, and I got no idea where to find it, that it is in English. What am I going to do? Yes? But if we motivate our students to see that this is positive, we select some readings that are not that boring. We can select some readings that could be interesting, and we can give them some vocabulary, we can play games, well, no games, but at least some activities that help them opening the mind. Then they will have the motivation enough to read the documents. So that is my invitation, and please use one of those strategies. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much for staying.